Oh, no.
Oh, I'm really sorry to tell you this, guys.
Oh, no.
Senator Mitt Romney from Utah. He announced today he will not seek a second term.
Oh,
He's not going to do it. He's not coming back. No.
Stu is smiling, but that's a sad smile.
I know.
Wait, why are you laughing?
Oh, man. Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying it's really bad.
But you can't stop smiling.
I can't.
That's a sad
I
smile.
physically can't stop smiling. I think it's like a Nancy Pelosi thing. I can't. I'm always going. This is good news. This is very good news. I'm very excited about this news, Sarah.
Well, I want to play. Let's play. Oh. We don't know how much longer we're going to have him, right? We don't know how much longer we're going to. I mean, I don't think anything's going to top the Mitt Romney talking about how much he loves wieners video. But we don't know how much longer we're going to be able to. Wow, I was not expecting you guys to have that picture.
Did they just have that like saved on the desktop? Like, what is the?
Apparently, yes. Our director, my husband, has saved that, knowing probably me too well that I would continue to make fun of him for this stupid hat. Where do you even buy a hat with a wiener on it? That's not like Sarah's Secret or you know what? I'm just going to keep going. Let's go ahead and play Mitt Romney making this announcement on X. Watch.
I've spent my last 25 years in public service of one kind or another. At the end of another term, I'd be in my mid-80s. Frankly, it's time for a new generation of leaders. They're the ones that need to make the decisions that will shape the world they will be living in. While I'm not running for re-election, I'm not retiring from the fight. I'll be your United States Senator until January of 2025.
That's the bad news.
I will keep working on these and other issues, and I'll advance our state's numerous priorities. I look forward to working with you and with folks across our state and nation in that endeavor. It really is a profound honor to serve Utah and the country, and I thank you for giving me the opportunity to do so.
So touching, so touching. It does explain a lot of his positions that he's held in the Senate. You're like, do you expect to get reelected in Utah?
You know, I will say, I actually believe him on this. As far as like character, I don't think he's a bad guy. Actually, I think he's a good guy. I really do. I might be the only person on the table that thinks that, but I mean, I actually think he is. I just don't like his politics.
But do you think, because like, I think maybe on a personal level, like he seems like a family man, right?
He's a family man, heavily religious.
But well, it's not like just because you say that you're religious, you can never be, have character issues, right?
Sure.
But I think it's his arrogance for me. Because I would argue that he has not been operating in a way that would represent his constituents. He just does it because he thinks he knows better.
Yeah, I think that's politicians in general. But that really sticks out to him and I think people like us because he's there as a Republican senator. Doesn't really act like a Republican senator. Or at least not, maybe he does act like a Republican, just not a conservative. I don't know. Romney's always conflicted me because he enrages me with the decisions he makes. He enrages me with a lot of the stuff during the Trump administration. It was really pissing me off. But I actually think he's a good guy. And there's not a whole lot of people that I think are actual good guys in the government.
I'm tired of you talking already.
Really? I mean, Stu, back me up here, right?
No, don't.
You don't think he's a good guy?
No.
I think he's a good guy. I don't like his politics. I'm glad he's leaving. We definitely don't need people like him making decisions for any kind of conservatism, which he is not.
I'll say this: there are a lot of worse people in the government. Right? So I think to your point, I think he's not the worst human being. I mean, that's Lindsey Graham. He's not the worst human being in the Senate. But
that was like a good PC diplomatic answer. So
I do feel like
trying to please both parties.
There's a bit of look. Here's a guy who, since we've known him in public life, has taken basically every flavor of ice cream in the conservative ice cream shop and served it up to us. And it's like, and when I say conservative, I mean broadly. I mean all the way to very moderate in Massachusetts. I mean, when he was running in 2012, I thought he was, I think he would have been a fine president if he was elected. He would have disappointed me often, but he would have been a hell of a lot better than Barack Obama was, and I really wanted him to win in 2012. He had some policies I thought were good. He
wanted
also
him to win in the general.
Yeah, in the general. Yeah.
Okay.
But like, you know, again, like he, I think, has taken a turn from that era where he was arguing for strong border policies and good, you know, a lot of solid tax policy and a lot of different things that were okay in 2012. You know, he's a little bit of a relic, I think. It really doesn't feel like he fits this era at all. I do think he's been a really bad senator, though. Like, I forget, you know, I don't know him personally. You know, Glenn can comment on that, and he would. I don't think he'd be backing you up necessarily with all of your viewpoints on Mitt. But I will say, like, policy-wise, like, I think as a senator, he's been terrible, especially for the state of Utah. And this is one of my big obsessions, is we a lot of times spend, you know, a lot of energy as Republicans and conservatives complaining about, you know, Susan Collins in Maine, right? And like, look, Susan Collins sucks. She does. But she's in Maine. The fact that we have Susan Collins in Maine is probably a win for the conservative movement because honestly, you're probably going to get a Democrat who's going to be much, much worse. To me, the biggest target all of us should think about all the time is targeting these mediocre to bad senators in bright red states. There's no reason to put up with a guy like Mitt Romney as our senator from Utah. We have Mike Lee. We should have another Mike Lee. Get another Mike Lee. We did a show, I don't know, it was probably 3 months ago now, where I went through all the senators that were they're coming up for re-election in 2024. And I said, we complain all the time. This is the time to find good challengers for that particular senator, the one that sucks in a red state. And I went through all of them, and I kind of came up with 3 different ideas, different paths to go through. Because, look, it's one thing, can your person actually win the primary, right? Are they popular among if Mitt Romney's super popular among Republicans, whoever's challenging him probably not going to win the primary. If you win the primary, will you win the general, right? A lot of times we've done this where we've knocked off moderate people in the primary, and then they go on to lose the general. Well, that's not a win. And then number 3 is how conservative are they? And I went through all of this, you know, built a big spreadsheet and everything. You're going to be surprised to hear that Mitt Romney was the #1 target in America when it comes to terrible senators under this criteria. By a margin, he only has a 40% approval among Republicans in his own state. I mean, it's likely that if anyone credible would have challenged him here, he would have lost. And I think that may be the story here. Maybe the story that there was a challenger who wanted to come up. Maybe we'll find out who it is very soon. And wanted to take him on and was waiting to see for him to make his decision. There may have been some backroom conversations going on that front, and he wanted to step down instead of getting defeated by just stepping down.
Where was John Cornyn on that list?
2 or 3.
Okay.
I think Cornyn was, I think Cornyn was up. I'm trying to think of.
Well, he may not. Is he running?
Yeah, I think that was the reason he wasn't up there.
Okay.
On the criteria, he was very high, but he wasn't running in 2024.
I was going to say it'd probably be very close between Mitt Romney and John Cornyn.
I will say Romney was uniquely bad. I mean, his voting record is terrible. Cornyn is bad, but it's not as bad as Romney's is. It's pretty bad, but it's not as bad.
If you're way worse than Cornyn, wow.
It's
the bottom of the barrel.
He's really just turned into basically what he was in Massachusetts, which was basically a Democrat with a couple of conservative tendencies.
Yeah, I should probably just shut up now on Romney because the audience is going to absolutely kill me on it. But I just want to make a note. I do not like Romney.
No.
I do not like Romney. I think he is
Mitt Romney
awful.
apologist.
No, so just to clarify, I do because I feel like I have to now. Oddly, I have a feeling like he's a terrible Republican. He's a terrible conservative. That's the main reason why I don't like him. I do not like that he's in the Republican Party. I mean, wasn't he the one that brought to Massachusetts like
Romneycare?
Romneycare
Yes.
Before Obamacare.
Before Obamacare.
That's what was hilarious when we were voting for him for president. I was like, wait, what?
Well, I mean, but I think like
no
the argument
options.
could be made too. Like, I don't agree with it, but I do get the argument. Like, well, that's because states should be able to determine that, not the federal government, with some one-size-fits-all.
Yeah, it's definitely
approach.
A better policy than Obamacare.
Right.
But my view of Romney. And again, I could be wrong on this. I don't have any inside stories that other people might have. But I mean, I respect the fact when someone is like a true believer in something and they stick to their guns.
Yeah.
It'll piss me off.
But I don't know that he is.
Well,
he switched positions.
Yeah.
Does he switch though? Because I feel like he's got like a certain morality, and he just goes that direction regardless.
No.
I think there's. I mean, on that particular issue, because I think, like, for example, a lot of people were beating him up on the Trump impeachment stuff, and I think he really believed that. I think he really did.
Yeah.
I think he was wrong on the vote.
Yeah,
but I do think he actually believed what he was doing there. I don't think he's a constant liar. I don't think he has much of a political ideology. Right? It seems like he was willing to go, like Biden, sort of wherever the Democratic Party was for him, wherever the Republican Party was over a long period of time. Whatever he needed to be, he became in almost a Beto-esque fashion, and that's not something I respect at all. But I do think you're right. I think restoring, in his view, the old-time respect of the Oval Office is something he actually legitimately cares about, and right or wrong thinks Trump violated in a big way, and that's what I think motivated that vote. But I do think he believed it, right or wrong.
I don't like him. I want that record to be clear.
I want
like
him
him.
out.
I don't like him.
I want him out too.
I don't like him personally. I don't like him professionally. I don't like the hot dog hat. And the
hot dog hat I would defend. I think the hot dog hat's pretty nice.
No. And I am happy that he is leaving.
The whole Wiener video thing he did, I'm not going to respect that. But the hat, I think I'm on board with the hat. I think I'm okay with a hot dog hat.
Well, I know what I'm getting Stu for his next birthday.
If you like that clip, there is plenty more where that came from. Click the link in the description below to subscribe to the News and Why It Matters YouTube channel to watch the full episode.